Hey guys, welcome back to Invoked 101, the only Yu-Gi-Oh channel where we just can't get an invite. I went to Omaha this last weekend where I played Live Twin Sprights, and I actually did pretty well with this. As you could probably tell by the title, I got 28th. In the final round, I actually was the one that I got my X3 at. It was probably the best I've ever performed at any regional, and unfortunately, I was 4 spots under getting my invite. I am a little upset about it. I'm not like destroyed because my opponent did just outplay me. I opened kind of poorly and I just couldn't play through it. I think next time I can do a bit better. Anyways, one more thing before we get into it. I did rock the awesome limited Evil Twin and Live Twin Field Centers by Stay Classy. Not sponsored, I just really like these field centers. Also, my camera's a little bit off to the side, so if my face cam, if I'm not paying attention to it, it's because my filming cam is over here, my face cam is like way off to the side. But yeah, super cool. And then on the back they got Sunny and the Field Spell, and they are nice metal field centers. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into the deck profile. Starting off with the monsters. For our Twins package, I played 2 Lilla and 1 Treat, as well as 2 Kiss Kill, 1 Frost. I know not everyone's on the Treat, but currently this is the lineup I like. I like 2 and 1 mainly just because it gives you the extra extenders. It get with the Treat and the Frost. You could play 2 Frost if you want to. I know some people are only playing the 1 Kiss Kill and they're playing like 3 Lilla, but honestly, they do the same thing in my opinion. They don't really. Neither of these are better than the other. I mean, yeah, this one because it gets Frost, which is a draw. Like, ooh, you're gonna get this off of Gigantic anyway, so it doesn't matter in my opinion. The only thing that matters is when you see these two and you don't see like the opposite when you have the extender. That's the only part that's crappy. But never had a bad opening with these. I really like these, and I like the ratios those are at. Moving into the Sprites, I played 2 Sprite Blue. I know that I was the guy at local saying you don't need blue, but oh my god, does this help so much. I am only playing 2 because I only have 2. If I had 3, I'd probably change up the list a little bit, but honestly, 2 is kind of alright right now. I saw this a lot in my opening hand, and so far I haven't needed a reason to bump it up. So I'm gonna fly with 2 for now. But yeah, really, really good card, and I do think it is a little necessary for this, mainly just for that like draw phase, starters and things like that. Really, really good card. And then we played 3 Jet. I like Jet a little bit more than Blue. This gets you Smashers, which is really important with this strategy because we're not playing the Frogs. Smashers becomes a lot more important with this deck, mainly because it works with Lilla and Kiss Kill. And I'll explain a little bit of the interaction of Smashers when I get to that. But yeah, Jet, really, really good. And then I played one of the bad ones. 1 Pixies, 1 Carrot, and 1 Red. I say these are the bad ones. These guys are actually great. The only one of these I ever sided out. I would side out the Pixies sometimes, but honestly, this is a really good, like, if you just need another name, you put it on the board, and then you summon it back at the, like, if you don't use Elf. Like, there was a couple games where I was able to combo, put Elf and the Twins on board. And I would just, like, before I would go into the Twins, I knew I didn't need Elf, so I would summon Pixies back, and so that way I'd have Pixies as an Honest, and then I would reborn, like, Blue or Red or whatever on my opponent's turn. Or maybe I'd reborn Red and then reborn Pixies on their turn, you know? But yeah, Pixies is really good because it's an Honest from field or hand. So, really cool card. Really like these. Carrot and Red are really nuts with the Twins because you can just tribute a Twin to negate things. And then it negates and destroys because the Twin, and then you just bring back the Twin and either pop a card or draw a card. These guys are nuts with the deck. They interact exactly how I theoried they would interact. For hand trap lineup, and this is the part where my deck lacked, not gonna lie. 3 Ash, this was perfect. 3 Veiler, that was perfect. 2 Crow, should have been 3. I really missed the call to play 3 of these. And honestly, there's some spots in this deck where like I feel like I could have been playing Meister, but realistically I like the 3 Crow. If you want to play Meister you can, but I like Crow because it dodges chain blocking and you still just get rid of that resource for them. As far as I know, the Tier of the Winds can't recover their banish stuff from what I saw. So Crow just gets rid of it, and I really should have been on 3, but I was dumb and only played 2. And that was my biggest folly, was only playing 2 of these. If I had to change anything, I'd swap 1 Baylor for the 3rd Crow. And that's only because we're also playing Imperm. That's it for the monsters. That's it for the main deck monsters. And I'm going to take this moment to tell you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to do that last part especially. Moving to the spells and trap. We played, for our live twin stuff, we played only the Sunny Snitch. Now, I might play Secret Password because I realized that how important the twins are for this strategy. You really need the twins, not only to get your stuff rolling, but also for that interruption on your opponent's turn. Gigantic doesn't really do anything except for be a body, and then Elf really only is there to perpetuate your negates with Carrot and Red. So if you're just playing the Spright stuff, you're not really advancing your game state, whereas the twins get you draws and they get you the pops. So I might play 1 Secret Password to search this, just so that way I have that extra bump of consistency, even though I'm also playing other things. I played triple Spright starter. Moving on to the thing, this card I feel is mandatory at 3. The draw phase for the blue to guarantee yourself Gigantic and continue summoning and going off really is like big, mainly because blue, the starter for blue is like the most important part, and if you get drolled there, it does hurt. So you always want to draw phase that. Then I played 2 Spright Smashers. Obviously, like I mentioned, this is your main deck Mystic Mine out, by the way. Like, this did matter against the Runic matchup, but also it's just really good to out things. And like I mentioned, so like your main combo when you do the twins, right, is you make both twins, and then before you end your turn, you link both of them off into the pink one, into Kiss Kill, so that way you can have the Reborn of Lilla to pop a card. Well, what you can do with this is this means you can banish that Kiss Kill that you summoned, right? Your first Kiss Kill. After you revive Lilla, banish the Kiss Kill, and then use Lilla to revive the Kiss Kill from the first turn, so that way you get a draw card as well. So that's a little interaction you can do with this that I think is cool. It kind of works the same way that like Forbidden Droplets works for this deck and like Econ, except it's a lot riskier because you're not tributing it or sending it, you're banishing it, so it doesn't come back. But either way, still a really cool interaction, and it was stuff that I got complimented on that way during the day. 3 Pot of Prosperity. Don't know how much I like this, mainly because I'm also playing another really important card for this deck, which is Tactics. I still feel Tactics is really strong. Mainly I use this to steal monsters, although honestly it didn't really come up all that much. Like, there was only really one time I drew 2, the rest of the time I stole monsters and it didn't really matter. So this actually might leave the deck, and this could be the Secret Password and the what's it called? The DD Crow. There we go, the DD Crow. So yeah, I really didn't feel like these were super great. And the main reason I kept them in is because if you get Gamma'd on the twin, you can steal the Gamma and then continue to combo off with Sprites in your hand. Like I mentioned, I said Droplets, so I played 2 Droplets. This card is bonkers in this deck. Someone mentioned Droplets, and then I flipped it over. I was like, yeah, it is pretty crazy in this strategy. But yeah, so 2 Droplets, 1 called by. Card is bonkers. Card is nuts. Wins games. Stops traps. Hand traps. It's bonkers. Stops tears on your turn. It's nuts. Yeah, that's it. The big thing I had with Tier is just the amount of things that they do during your turn, and that you kind of just have to sit there for a minute if you don't have like called by or whatever. I played 1 trap, like I mentioned earlier. I play Imperm. Moving into the extra deck, I do have a side deck. I'm going to show you guys that just so that way you can be better than me, because I know that's important for all of my subscribers, is that they play better than I do. So I'm going to show that off. Starting us off, 3 Kiss Kill. This is the more important one to go into to start. You use this one a lot more. So I'm playing 3 of her, and I'm only playing 2 Lilla, even though Lilla is my favorite one, and she is technically the more important one with the pop. This one is the one that you're going into more, and like I said, you're going to banish it. You can banish one of them off Prosperity and be okay. You can do a little bit with these, but for the most part, you want 3 of this one, and that's probably why she's so expensive, because she is the main one you need. And then I only played 1 of the Link 4. I didn't go into this almost all day. There was a ton of a ton of times where I was looking at this and I was like, I just have to banish it off prosperity. It's not going to come up. And I was right. It didn't come up. Most of the time I was locked under starter or gigantic, so it didn't matter. Moving into the other stuff, we're playing 2 elf. 2 elf is perfect. I didn't feel I ever need the third one. There was actually times where I banished one of them off prosperities and was fine. 1 IP, I never summoned it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I never summoned this. I was either locked into fiends or it just wouldn't matter, so I banished this off prosperity all the time. 1 unicorn did come up. I did use it to spin a card when I was just doing like evil twin stuff. I made this and spun a card, drew a card, and I just went off and was able to take game with this. So yeah, this did come up. Goddess was actually an MVP extra deck monster, not gonna lie to you guys. This card was pretty nuts. My opponent, when he was playing Math Mech, he ended the turn with Wicked and an IP. And so I put 3 monsters on the board and I was like, anything? And he goes, no. And so I took all my monsters. I still had starter in my hand. So I took all 3 of my monsters and his IP'd and made my own Goddess and negated his Oppo. And yep, so that was it. Goddess is pretty nuts. I do like it in the strategy. It's a fiend, so if you're just if you don't have the sprites and you're just doing evil twin stuff, you can go into it. You can, if you do happen to actually use the IP, you can go into this on your opponent's turn and just slurp up one of their monsters and then negate the rest of their stuff. It's pretty cool. That's it for the links for the XZs. 2 gigantic. Again, didn't really feel like I needed the third one. I did run through both a lot of times, but there was never a moment where I felt like I needed the third one. 1 Downard and 1 Zeus. I never went into these. I never banished them off prosperities. Like, I would banish Downard, but not Zeus. And I think that was just because I was like, oh, I can just gigantic and then go into Zeus. And like, so that way even, like, I'd at least have like a 2-mat Zeus. So, which I know is like really stupid, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I felt like Zeus was the better like save, so. Yeah, that's it for the extra deck, and that's it for the core of the deck. If you want to stick around for the side deck, feel free to. I'm mainly going to explain my choices and why I picked them and what I would change. So, because the side deck was important and I played poorly. So, first of all, the best cards that I played that day. Triple evenly matched 1 Duster. I played against Eldritch. There we go. That was one of the decks I beat. I played against Eldritch 1 match, and I opened evenly. So I evenly'd him, and he negated it with Judgment. So I activated his Prosperity for 3, and I drew the Duster, and I just looked at him, and I said, I'm sorry. And I dropped the Duster, and he's like, it happens. And then I had the twins in my hand. He had nothing. So I just comboed off and built a board, and we were in a top-decking war. And he goes to flip Sanguine. I had Ash, so... But yeah, these were the best cards I played. Lava Golem actually came up. I left this in going first. I sided in 1 copy going first. I opened it like out of nowhere along with starter. And so my opponent kept going off, and I was like, I'm gonna give you Lava Golem. And he's like, you have that going first? And I was like, well, it came up, didn't it? And he's like, I guess. And I hadn't normal summoned at all. So I was like, you can just take that. And yeah, it was weird, but I honestly do really like Lava Golem. I think it's probably one of the best cards, side deck cards you could be playing right now. Just outing 2 monsters, mainly like Dragos Tapelia and things, going into boards going second. And especially since you're playing the twins, you can just special summon the twins from the deck, you know? And because what you can do, you can use Sunny Snitch to search one of them, to search one of the extenders, and then you just special summon the other extender or the other one from the deck with the sprites, and then you special summon it, make the full twin, and pop it. So, but yeah, you also, like I said, you also just don't need your normal summon if you have starter. After that, these were cards that I feel like could have come up, but I never used. Triple Dark Ruler. There was never a point where like I felt like I needed to use this, so I never cited it in. Because like anytime I wanted to use this, I could have just used evenly matched, so I did. And that's kind of like my thought process currently. Like, these 6 cards are nuts. This is okay. And then I was citing this for time, which was Ghost Sister. This card is pretty nuts, and I think it's really good, especially if you're like in a time matchup. Mainly because you just drop it and your opponent either has to end their turn there or give you a bunch of life points. I do think that this card has other uses that are really good, but I was mainly playing it for time because I didn't want to lose in time. So that's why I played that. Next is the worst cards in my side deck. Double Crossout and 1 Nibiru. These never came up. Not gonna lie to you. I sided in Crossout 1 time. It was in the final game, and it mattered against an Imperm. That was the only time it mattered, and I could have played through it. And so It's one of those things where it's like, I would trade these out 100%. These should be something else. I don't know. I knew what I wanted to swap these out for before I started the video. Oh, Skullmeisters. That's what. I would swap these for Skullmeisters. I could also probably swap the Dark Rulers for Skullmeisters, but like, I don't care about Nibiru, right? I don't care about Nibiru because I have Gigantic, so I just make Gigantic early, so I don't need that. Crossout is mid, but I'm playing every hand trap, so I might swap the tactics for this. Like, that could be a thing, and maybe just play the crossouts for the tactics, because I know Imperm is pretty thing, but yeah, I didn't really care for those, and I definitely didn't be siding the beer. That was just bad deck building on my part. Anyway, that's it for the deck list. I actually really did like playing this. Despite the fact that like I played poorly, I got 28th out of 150 people. I did okay. Despite the fact that I built my deck poorly, I am happy with it. I really like this deck and I really like this strategy. This is like, I've been on Live Twins since day one. Like ever since this deck came out, I've been about it. And I'm really excited to have the sprites for this deck and be able to continue playing it. And I want to see where this goes, because honestly, I like this more than I like Math Mech. Like Math Mech is alright, but it wasn't me. It was very mid. This is something else, and I really do like it, and I feel like I'm close to getting like that perfect ratio. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Of course, as always, let me know what I can do to make this deck better. We're not playing frogs because frogs are ugly and girls are pretty, but let me know what else I can do to make this deck better, and I will see you guys in the next video.